Welcome, my friends, to AI Creatives Connect. We're going to be getting started a lot quicker than it looks on the clock. So don't go away. The clock is deceptive. We are diving straight in, and we are going to have a great time talking about the world of AI. I've been getting a lot of good questions about some of the productions that I've put out recently, and I wanted to address the process, because everyone has a process. And some people feel that my process is awesome. They want to learn it. So I want to show you the process. We're going to go step by step through the process. So the process starts off with either this thing over here called a keyboard, or it starts off in my head, or it starts off, maybe I'm just humming a tune as I'm doing chores, as it always happens, or I'm driving down the freeway and I get a song. Look, Suno is the best thing ever. For those of you who get ideas just like me, you get a buzz, you want to capture that idea, you want to download the Suno app, and you also want to bookmark the Suno website. See that? I have my Suno app so that when I get a brainwave, I am going into that app. Okay? I'm going to dump it. And I found the app a little bit harder to use with my audio. So I go to the website, I put in the audio, and you can do that all right from your phone. Okay? Let me show you a very simple way I create, okay? Let's go over to Suno on the desktop, because I have to do it this way for you to understand how it works. So even before you get into Studio, you can start off by going to the website. I have the website bookmarked. The website has an advantage, and the advantage is I can hum a song into my phone. I'm going to hum a song into my phone, and you're going to see everything transform in seconds. It's going to be very, very quick. So you hit the create button on your phone. You look for audio. You press plus audio. You press record. And then you go. We're having a great time in Suno today. We're having a great time in Suno today. Hit save, hit cover, hit continue. And when you come back into Suno on your desktop, you're going to see that my recording is going to be available to me on the desktop by the time I'm done with all these things here. So it's already captured my words and all that information. So all I need to do is find it. It might be in my general. Let's see if I can find it in my general workspace. And if in doubt, just go to library, and there it is. So this is it. Time in Suno today. So boom, look, I tell people Suno is a catalog. Stop looking at it as a mere, it's just AI. No, it's cataloging your ideas. I've got scores of ideas I haven't even gotten to, tons of them, right? So all I'm going to do to start my creative process, hit the three dots, go over to remix, go over to cover, shows up here. Go over to philc.net, go over to environment generator. All this is free, by the way, okay? I made them free because I know people just want to have fun. They're not looking to break the bank. They just want to have a good time, okay? So here we go. We're going to make it a little bit medium. Going to put a grand piano in there. Complex voices isn't bad. An acoustic bass would be nice. Let's make it jazzy, clean and polished. and let's make it building up to a climax. Hit generate prompt. There's your prompt. Go into Suno, dump this thing inside the style, rename, but don't forget to crank your audio influence up, and also rename. So having a great time in Suno, and hit create. That's your song right there, okay? With minimal human intervention. I gave it the words, I gave it the melody, and I know the average human can hum a song. So when people go into Suno looking for it to do melodies, looking for it to do everything, I'm like, bring something to the party. You know, don't bring ketchup and expecting to eat a big old steak and lobster. There's your song.
We're having a great time in Suno today. We're having a great time in Suno today.
What on earth was that? So that's a very short song. Here's another one. All right.
We're having a great time in Suno today. We're having a great time in Suno today.
All right, so that's a very quick illustration of the simple process, melody into your phone with a steady singing pattern of sorts. Even if you don't have a steady singing pattern, Suno knows what to do. Now, if you say, oh, that's a very short song, I wish it could be longer. Well, there are a few things you could do, okay? You could take this song as is, okay? Let me just show you, because I'm showing you all the shortcuts, okay? It's up to you to use it. I'm not saying you should, because you might be like me and prefer more control. But if you are in a time bind and you need to come up with an extension, simple ChatGPT extend my song with ideas about having a blast creating music in Suno. And you could be more extensive, but I'm just putting the original song in there, and then GPT is going to give me an idea, okay? An idea that is along those lines. So this is where you get into the collaborative air of artificial intelligence. You come in here, you can replace it, and you can redo that prompt. You could even make your prompt very minimalist. I prefer doing things myself, so I could, actually some of my best tracks from Suno have had the human influence of typing in the lyrics just as I'm doing it, and also typing in the styles. Some of my wildest compositions, I don't use my chord generator, I use my head. But I understand we might be in a time crunch in some instances. You just want to have a blast, you just want to let off some creative steam. But for this, I'm just going to say big band, male crooner, punchy drums, baritone sax, big horn, back in. So there's a difference between this prompt, which is quite technical, and my very simpleton prompt that I put in. But that isn't going to negate the transformation power of Suno. So Suno big band. And now that I've put a song in there with more lyrics, this is going to translate into more length, right? Also, when it comes to the song itself, you can direct it better by saying instrumental, intro in the beginning, and all that, stuff. But to make this simple, I'm just going to hit create, and you're going to see Suno cook this dish. It's still jazz, but even though I didn't mention jazz, Suno knows what big band means. So it's going to give me a big band serving.
We're having a great time in Suno today. Beats are flying, words are shining, melodies on the way. We're painting sound with rhythm and rhyme.
I mean, it's cooking. I love it. Let's check this one out. Now, for those of you who don't know about panning, you want to put on a pair of headphones. Look, if you're getting into the world of music, invest in a pair of headphones, okay? These are One Audios. You can find them at my affiliate store. It's called azexperiment.com. Remember Christian McBride and the Philadelphia experiment? I wanted to create my own experiment, so I called it AZ Experiment. Go to azexperiment.com. You find the One Audios, or whether you've got Audio Technicas or something fancier, just put on these headphones, because what you're going to hear in Suno is really sophisticated panning efforts from Suno, left and right. So just listen again.
We're having a great time in Suno today.
Look, I'm telling you, the panning, I have to give Suno a round of applause, because not only is the music sophisticated, the technicalities, it's getting there. I know the Puritans will say, well, Phil, it sounds like it's underwater. Look, get a life. get a life, because the panning and the music creativity is bar none. When you get something that you're excited about, as you can tell, I am excited, you click on this. There are a number of things you can do, and I'm going to show you two parts. I'm going to show you the easy path to release. The easy path to release, and I'll just call it the simple method, is to just download your song, right? Download it. Let me get myself out of the way, because someone said, Phil, your head is too big. Get out of the way. Put yourself in a corner somewhere. All right, so I'm in the corner. All right, I hope you're happy now. All right, so we're going to download this. Click on the three dots and download, right? And then you want WAV. Please do not do MP3. Deplorable. Don't do MP3. Do WAV, okay? Now, for those of you that don't want to do anything fancy with your music, you just want to put it on YouTube, click the three dots, make sure you have a paid account, click download, and then video. And this will download a video file in MP4 that you can just drag into your YouTube, put it on your channel. And it's a static video. It shows an image and it has a text, and maybe that's enough for you, okay? Not everyone is called to go into Spotify. I understand. Let's take a look at this MP4 here for a second so I can show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like.
We're having a great time in Suno today. Beats are flying.
So you get the idea, okay? You can download your MP4, but if you downloaded a WAV file, which means you may want to release it, okay? If you want to release your music, you got to tidy it up, okay? I encourage you to get into a DAW, DAW, Digital Audio Workstation. When you have a digital audio workstation, you will be able to manipulate the sound further. Now, even if you don't separate the sound into stems and such, you can download your WAV file and drag it into your DAW like this. Okay? I use Mixcraft, so I'm using this as an example. When I drag it in here, I got to make sure that it's playing at the right speed. Let's check it out. Hang on a second. So Mixcraft can be temperamental. It wants me to set the output, and I got to set the output so you folks can hear it. All right, now I've set the output to headset. Now, if you're wearing headphones, you can see that it's following the process, right? It's following the panning effect as well. So the first thing I do when I come in here is get my bearings straight by listening to a similar track. Could be your favorite big band track, I don't know, kind of bassy, might be a little bit dated, but something in the 80s, if Basie did anything in the 80s, I would listen to that. Or I'd listen to something from McCoy. I love his big band record, even though it's just instrumental. Or I'd listen to any of the greats, right? Do some big band stuff in that style. When you have listened and you've got your bearings straight, you then begin tweaking. So let me show you what tweaking means. Tweaking means I'm elevating the frequencies and I'm rounding out and balancing out stuff. The first place I go for is the end, because the ends in Suno are quite concerning. They're quite concerning. I don't have another word. It's concerning. So let's listen. Okay. So this might be nothing to the untrained ear, but listen very carefully to the end. I'm going to put it on repeat. See if you catch what I'm saying. Now, let's reduce the loop. Listen. Notice anything? Let's crank it up. What about this? Well, that's a dead giveaway that no human was involved in the final process. So you don't want that to happen. You want to cut it down a little bit, and then you also could click on that middle line and just fade it. Okay, so that could be step one, okay? Step two, go to the beginning, make sure nothing goofy happened in the beginning. Beginning sounds okay. Now, for the sake of this illustration, I'm going to do a couple of treatments on this. First of all, I'm going to hit effects, and I'm going to put some compression in there, and I'm going to make the threshold somewhere around here, and I'm going to listen back for a second. All right, then I'm going to put a little bit, just a tiny, tiny sliver of higher frequency, because Suno does quite poorly in the drum section with the frequencies. It needs a little bit of help.
We're having a great time in Suno today.
All right. So that's the end of that very basic treatment. Very basic. That's step one. I would listen to the entire track, make sure that nothing sticks out. If everything's good to go, I'm going to hit my FX button over here. This is the master effects. So this is going to affect every track that you have running on this thing. I only have one track. I hit my FX. I look for my favorite easy plugin. There are many plugins, but I look for the easiest, It's Isotope Mastering Essentials. It's one of the benefits of using Mixcraft. It comes with it. Doesn't come with every DAW, so you could buy Ozone, or you might even find some other variants of this. Everyone has their favorite plugins. This is my simple. I like simple, right? Because if you have difficult, you're going into a tunnel. You see, I spent 12 hours yesterday on music. 12 hours on one song. The song that you saw, Celebrate Life, 12 hours pretty much. Now, even though it was longer than that, because I started at 7 and ended 7 in the morning till 1 at night, even though I had distractions and life responsibilities, but that's pretty much all I did. So music is already hard enough, right? The structure of it is already hard in many instances. So I like simple, okay? So that's my philosophy. So what I do is I come in here and I just put this extra seasoning. Listen to it before and after. This is before.
Every note's a spark in time.
After.
Yeah, we're vibing in Suno tonight. We're having a great time in Suno today. Loops and layers while creation screams in full display. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Typing, it's been that flow. AI magic starts to glow. From a spark to a symphony. It's
Now, depending on the kind of music you are working on, widening may fit it, and depending on the track you've got, other times the widening may make Suno sound worse. So use with discretion.
you and me. Yeah. We're building songs built to love. Every track's a brand new day. Turn it up. Let's celebrate. We're having a blast in Suno.
So I must tell you, for this song, I would rather download the stems because I'm already seeing some weaknesses in the sound that I would probably prefer to pinpoint, like in the drums. But because I don't have the luxury of time and this is for the illustration, we're just going to go ahead and take it as is. So what I've done is I've put a little bit of secret, put a little bit of widening and strengthening of the sound, made it more robust and more expanded. And now I want you to check out the differences. Let's listen to the very basic track without anything. Very basic track without anything. All right, basic track, no compression, no equalization, no nothing. And then look at how it will change as I add to it. Check it out.
Yeah, we're vibing in Suno tonight.
You hear that difference?
We're having a great time in Suno today. Loops and layers while creation screams in full display. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Typing, it's been that flow. AI magic starts to glow. From a spark to a symphony. It's
All right, so when I get to this stage, I crank things down so that the meter is not going beyond about 5 or 6 decibels.
we're building songs built to love. Every track's a brand new day.
So I had to crank it down a little bit more towards -8 just to make sure that the meter wasn't going crazy. Okay, when I get it to this stage, the next thing I'm going to do is save it, and then I am going to export it to WAV. So let me go ahead and save it as Suno today. I'm going to put that on my desktop. Okay, so that's an example of how you could master, but I call it pre-mastering because we're not done. We need to go to the mothership. I call it the mothership. I've been using this since 2017. It's worked very nicely for me. So this is my method, okay? I go into LANDR. I hit mastering in LANDR. I hit new. I hit master track instantly, right? And Suno. So this next step, I'm showing you how you take your, I call it pre-mastering, because honestly I know that what I do in Isotope is great, but it's not enough. So I have to put it inside LANDR. I have to cook it a little bit more. I have to elevate the frequencies commercially. Or you can go into any of your other, mastering tools. Some people use Melodies. Some people use BandLab, as KP was telling me. But again, it's about the ears. You can use all the tools till the cows come home. If you ain't got the ears, it ain't gonna work. Back in the day, people would talk about using this tool, the finalizer. You can finalize with it all you want. If your ears are bad, it's not gonna sound good. So I advise you to listen to a lot more music with cans, without the cans, right? With headphones, without the headphones. Listen to all these styles, and I think you will become a better listener, because you need to listen more intricately to what is happening with each instrument and each voice. All right, now it says Suno Master Preview Ready. Click on that. It's going to give you the option of 3 styles and 3 loudness levels. Let's listen.
Typing and spin that flow. AI magic starts to glow. From a spark to a sneeze. Oh, you and me. Yeah. We're building songs built to love. Every track's a brand new day. Turn it up. Let's celebrate. We're having a blast in Suno today.
So I'm very conservative. I hardly ever go high down here in the loudness. I'm usually medium, except in rare instances. And then I'm usually between balanced and open, usually. If I was doing world music stuff, I may be on the warm spectrum, but I'm usually here. I've found this to work, right, for most systems. Hit create, choose wave, go ahead, and boom, your master is now cooking. Within a few minutes, it will notify you that your master is done, and that's what you take out. And then you go into, when it's done, I'm just trying to move ahead. When it's done, you go into DistroKid, which is here. This is the last album I released just a few hours ago. It's called Celebrate Life. Now, to do this, you just need to go into DistroKid, upload your music, upload all the information, and press a button, and boom, you get to this page. Hooray, your music is on its way. Okay? And for those of you who don't want to give tax information because you're not making money with it, it's okay if you're not making money with it. If you want to distribute it and you kind of not looking for people to listen, that's okay. They will not ask you for all that tax information until you have money waiting. So it's actually, a good one for beginners to use, or people who are in the intermediate stage and just want to share your music with the world. You don't want to make money from it, but you're like, well, maybe on the off chance someone will hear my story. Yeah, go for it. I don't begrudge you. I am not going to police you. You do what you want, right? So DistroKid will be a way to do that. And that is the process. It's very straightforward. You can either make it more complicated or simpler, okay? So here is the Suno Master Complete. Now you can see there's a master and a regular one. So let's hide that. So you want to click on this, and you want to click on stems, all right? You can click on stems, and I beg your pardon, not that. You want to click on download, not stems, forget that. You don't need the stems. You want to click on download. So let's download the track again, wave. Don't download MP3, wave, okay? Now that we've downloaded the wave, we can, like I said, take that wave file, put it into DistroKid. Let's play it and just listen.
great time in Suno today.
So that's the final one. Let's listen to the very first from Suno.
We're having a great time in.
So it's good. Of course, it's exactly the same song, but one has been elevated in terms of the right frequencies. And if you were to play it on speakers or headset, you will notice a difference. So that is the very simple method, okay? Let's see if we got any questions before I move on to the complex. All right, let's see. All right, let's see if there are any questions. Hunting for questions. I turned Grok into a maestro. Interesting. Wow, I need to check that out. Hi, Carlbane Studios. How you doing? I checked your stuff out on Suno. It's very good. Well done. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, KP. Parody Gaming, how you doing? Parody Gaming says, I am poor in vocal mixing. Please tell me any AI which helps vocal mixing. Thank you very much. So honestly, vocal mixing is a beast, right? It's a game that you have to play practically. What I would advise you to do is similar to what I'm about to show. You just have to use your good ears instinct, right? You have to ensure you don't get carried away with the highs and the mids. Those are the killers. But at the same time, lack of them could make a track dishwater dull. If I were you, I would try as much as possible to get a dry vocal first and add anything else sparingly. Your biggest battle is the volume of the vocal to sit properly within the music. So it is going to take a lot of going back and forth, and then you have to be an objective listener. Let me give you an example. Let's bring this up again. So if I was mixing this vocal in, one of the things I should do is this. I should be able to hear the vocal at this level. If I can't, then I have a problem. And if it's sticking out too much, I also have a problem. See what I'm saying? So raise it gradually and make sure it's sitting nicely. And then if you have background vocals, make sure the background vocals as much as possible are panned slightly. Don't go overboard with the panning, just slight. You know, maybe like a 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Don't go too crazy. And honestly, it's an art. You just get better and better at it. And the more years you have doing it, the better. I've been doing this since the 90s, listening to voices and separating them and EQing them. And it comes with time. But what you can do to shorten the learning curve is listen to a lot of music. And I have to be honest, what helped me evolve tremendously in the aspect of vocal engineering is none other than my buddies, my guys, Take 6. Because Take 6, listening to their tracks over and over again, it just gets you into a sophisticated sense of vocal music and how they should sit without any instruments and with instruments. I would highly advise, go listen to Join the Band, go listen to Brothers from Take 6. I think you'll get some really good ideas of how instruments can be used with vocals. Yeah, I mean, Join the Band blew my mind. Because for the longest time, I'd only been hearing Take 6 a cappella. But listening to Join the Band and seeing how that jam, the entire album was so well engineered, it changed a lot for me. And I became a student putting those cans on. Same thing for groups like Fred Hammond and Commissioned. I'd listen to that stuff all day long with cans, with that headset on. And I don't know if you've done this very recently, but if you listen to some of the old Michael Jackson mixes, like just the raw stems, and you compare it, just listen to the raw stems. There's so many videos of Michael Jackson's raw stems on YouTube. Listen to any of those and listen to the final, and your mind will be blown, right, at how good the vocals were, even without, all the additional mastering. But with the additional mastering, it just changes the game. So the more you listen, the better you're going to get. I hope that helps. All right. In DistroKid, are you uploading? Wave. Carl Bain Studios, Wave, absolutely. Party Gaming, how to copyright our songs or distribute songs on platform. Yeah, so honestly, if you want to copyright your song, you have to you can write out the lyrics. So there's two ways you can do this. You can do this with music, or you can do this with lyrics. Depending on the country you're in, every country is different. But if you just Google copyright song process, copyright songs, for example, Copyright Songs USA. I'm going to put this link in the chat, and take some time to read it, okay? For those who are very sensitive about, I want my song copywritten. Absolutely. Now let me just preface by saying you could have all the copyright in the world on your song. It ain't gonna stop any idiot from stealing it. Even on YouTube, right? It's not gonna stop those crazy people from trying to steal your music. And I am a poster child for that, because I had someone try to steal my intro to Giant Steps and use it on a commercial label, commercially produced album. Can you believe that? And they didn't want to admit wrongdoing. They stole basically what I played on the Korg Trident keyboard. They took it and put it in a professional recording. And they're going to have their day in court, because I'm coming for them. But what I'm trying to tell you is you could have all the copyright on your music. There's still going to be thieves. As you have seen in many of the public cases, people steal, right? They steal maliciously. Sometimes people steal, they don't even know that your song is playing in their head and it appears on an album. So copyright is not a protection to stealing. It's a proof in a court of law if you go into litigation, which very few people do. So just keep that in context. Now, one of the things I would recommend you do, if you release a track, put it on YouTube, put it on Spotify, and the reason is YouTube is probably one of the quickest ways of you making money with good music. It's not Spotify. People think Spotify is no, it's not. Now, I'm not, knocking Spotify. I get a check from Spotify monthly. So I love Spotify, but what I'm trying to tell you is you can get a lot more if you play that game well. If you produce great music with great videos to match, you probably stand a better chance on YouTube of making tons, right? If you're able to get the right audience. It takes persistence and it takes excellence, okay? So that's the copyright info. You can check it out, okay? Oh, I'm happy to see that, Wave AI Sonics. And as a member, you can always put questions in the membership. I'll get to them as soon as I'm able. Okay? All right. What else? So to distribute your tracks, look, you are overthinking it. Look, you're overthinking it. What stops you from going to DistroKid today and putting your music out there? You got to begin somewhere. Do your low state. Look, okay, let me give you a direction. Spend 1 hour today. Do this. I'm telling you, it's going to work. 1 hour. Spend 1 hour writing your own lyrics. Like, don't even use GPT as I was showing the shortcut. Write your own lyrics from beginning to end. Step 1. Step 2, got a great question from our friend Wave AI Sonics. I want to show you a way around not playing an instrument but wanting to compose with a piano or something. It was such a great question. It's like you read my mind. I don't have any instrument to play. Any easy way to make a melody with just keyboard, desktop keyboard. Oh my goodness. You have no idea how this question excites me. It excites me because you have proven to me that I wasn't delusional when I created this thing. What am I talking about? Well, welcome to my chord helper. I've been trying to tell people for a long time, and I'm going to put a link in the chat. If you go to my chord helper page, this is an answer to your prayers, my friend. This is an answer to your prayers. Okay. So if you come over here, you got to activate load piano and start. Bing, samples loaded. Now, there's a couple of things you could do. You could hum a melody, 2 chords. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved someone like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. There's your keyboard. Now, if you don't know how to play music, you gotta learn these diatonic chords and experiment with them. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. Oh, oh. It's as though you got your own keyboard. Now, that's just one place to go. If you go to home on philc.net, you can use these to play a melody. So this shows you on the key of C. These are your keys. Right? Now, the other thing about what I just showed you, the cool thing about what I just showed you, and I'm making adjustments to it, but if you go to the chord helper, you don't even need to use your mouse, right? You could use your numbers on your keyboard, numbers 1 to 7. That's just pressing number 1 on your keyboard. So it's quite uncanny that you asked, is there a way I could do this on my keyboard? Now, I'm also updating this so that I have a keyboard that looks similar to what I just showed you, but you'll be able to use numbers to play it. I actually have the code developed. I just need to roll it in. So if you go to the chord helper, you're going to find another app eventually under this. But I also have 20 of the most popular chord progressions. So I know this is more work. I know people, they don't like a whole lot of work, but if you are in it, you might as well get in it properly and just play around in the chord generator. Just see how your ear gravitates towards it. Over here, I have an older model. It's not as fancy sounding. It sounds like an old Casio keyboard from the 80s, I know. Compare this to this. So I just made this update. I just rolled it out about 5 minutes before we got on the call. I just call it the chord zapper. The cool thing about the chord zapper is I go beyond just having a 1 major. You have a 1 minor, right? So if you know a little bit about music, if you are a singer, you can actually try this and just sing to it. Just stay on the top 1. For those of you who are more experienced, you know the functions of the minors, like the F minor and G minor especially. These ones, if you don't know what to do with them, they'll throw you off. But you can also sing on a minor key. Like Jehovah Jireh, my provider, his grace is sufficient for me. You can sing on a minor key if you know what to do with it. Or you could sing on A minor. Jehovah Jireh, my provider, his grace is sufficient for me. So if you know about minor keys and major keys, you don't even need an instrument anymore. I've taken that off the table. Take your phone, press record your ideas, sing along, the audio coming out of your laptop or your computer and your voice, and then feed that into Suno. I've done this before. It offers pretty remarkable results. All right, I hope that answered your question. What else? All right. You don't know how to use it? Yes. That's it. Okay. Well, I hope I answered all the questions. Did I miss anything? Questions, concerns. Let me go into the questions and see. Okay. So AI Sonics, Wave AI Sonics says, can I build a melody in a DAW with... Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. So let's go into the DAW. Follow me. Great question. Okay, Wave AI Sonics, let's go. Okay, so let's do a new project. All right, so we're in a new project, okay? When you are looking to do this, you want to be in the instruments that are VST. So when it says insert track, you got virtual instrument track, where you can now play on your keyboard, okay? So the way to do this actually makes for a great experiment. The way to do this is to click on this keyboard icon. You see this keyboard icon on the left? You see that? Click on that, and it's going to open this, and the next thing you want to do is hit musical typing, all right? And voila, there is your keyboard. And so on. But let me first of all get this thing right, because it messes around anytime I change the song. Let's make sure we got this going into the stream. There we go. So if I wanted to play Mary Had a Little Lamb, it's going to be DSA-SD. You want to play a chord. See? You can make melodies on this thing. Now, how do you record the melodies? You can close this top one, have this on the screen, go to record, find a tempo you like. Okay, so we first need to set the tempo down here in metronome, right? Turn your metronome on for playback and recording. Also have a count in. I'm going to say my tempo is around 70, and let's record something. Go. then you hit stop. No keyboard, mind you. And there's so many things you could do with this. You could double it if you wanted to make it more robust. So right here, if you click on this, we have acoustic piano. That was the default. You can always add a little bit of seasoning, make it sound. I like feeding Suno premium stuff. Even if I'm doing something simple like this, I want to put in a few ingredients. You know, I want to put in a few ingredients, so I could do that. Then I could go to my library. I could look for a very simple beat that I can add to it. I can also, as I'll show you, double it to make it more robust. So right now it's in limbo. It's in some sort of suspended animation, and I think it's because I'm doing too much too quick. But just type in drums. If you have a version, I think 10, which is what I have, 10.1 of Mixcraft, is gonna come with loops. This is where you owners of Mixcraft, you have an advantage because you have a decent enough loop library. Now mine is taking a long time to load because I have so many other loops I put in this thing. These are all loops I have. So I can put a loop in there to my melody. Now it's not bad, but that's not the beat it was set out to be. So how about I put this one in, right? More like it. So I can put this in. So I've got enough instructions for Suno, believe it or not. But even if you're just using a keyboard, and I mean your computer keyboard, let me show you what could happen. Let's duplicate this. And what happens if I change this to a bass, to an acoustic bass? Great things could happen. Ooh, that sounds good already. I can take it an octave down. See that? And then I can also get rid of the reverb, or just put very basic, very little reverb, just an empty room kind of reverb. And I can play my bass. Let's close this. I can play my bass on top of this. You know? There you have it. And of course, you know, all you do is file, mix down. You don't even need to do wave, you know. So in this case, I'm just going to do file. I'm going to mix it down to an MP3 just for the sake of this illustration. I'm just going to say Mixcraft track. I thought I might as well just show you everything since I got you here, because I don't know when we're going to be able to do this again. and everyone can go back and kind of watch. All right, so when we're done with that, we go into Suno, of course. We are going to go into the create mode. Let's refresh this. We're on a blank slate now, and now I can upload my audio. So that's what I'm going to do next. So let's upload the audio. And I just called it Mixcraft. And this is what it looks like when you're uploading. That's the track. Save, cover, continue. Of course, as usual, you can go back in here. You can go to my environment generator. Actually, this will be good with some kind of chilled ambient stuff. So let's see if we got something ambient. Okay, lo-fi hip hop, chilled and relaxed. All right. Okay, that works. Let's generate the prompt. Let's copy it. Go back in here. Put that there. And advanced options, crank this up a little bit so it sounds like our original, and create. Now you have music that you had more control over. You get what I'm saying? You had more control. There's nothing like it, I'm telling you. When you have more control over your music, it's a good feeling. Check this out. So I hope that answered your question and gave you some insights. Okay, thank you. It was a very good question. I know it took long to answer, but I hope that gives you some clarity. Okay? Okay. All right. Next question that I'm seeing in the question section is how exactly you fix the noise from Suno. Brilliant question, which leads me to the next thing I want to show you. Okay, so let's go back into the world of Suno, and let's see which one would be a good example of this. So yeah, I'd need to find a noisy track. Let's see if we can find a noisy track. Actually, you know what? I think I've got an example for you. I'll just bring up an older project. Let's see. Okay, maybe this one. I'll show you the process for the track that I just put out. Hopefully I can use that. Okay. Okay, let's do preferences. Let me get it to come out of the stream so you can hear it. All right. So, as an example, So when you watch that 3-hour video, I know you probably haven't gone there yet, but the 3-hour video in membership, when you're watching it, you're going to see how I doctor all this stuff. And I know it's like very laborious watching a video for 3 hours, but I think you're going to take away some things from what I did. So let me turn this off, and let me turn these off. And let's take this off solo so that we're just hearing the drums. And I'll speak to each one of the variables as far as how I control them. Okay, which one's this? Okay. So first of all, the piano, okay? How do I harness the piano? I replay it. I just play it all over again. Let me show you why. So let me find piano for this track. The piano that came with it. That's woodwinds, that's guitar. Let's see. Okay, keyboard. So let's listen to just the keyboard that came from Suno. Okay. Now, the untrained ear will not see anything in the slightest wrong with this. To the untrained ear, this is, oh, it's nice. But if you have a trained ear, you're going to hear that, oh, that's an artifacty thing. You hear those sliding sounds at the end? It's not really nice, even though I can make out the chords. So what do? I build my own. Now this is one of the advantages of being an instrumentalist, because that's mine. You hear the difference? There's a big difference. Now, during the final mix, I decided that their piano wasn't a complete throwaway. I was going to use it somehow. How did I use it? I put it in the corner, all the way to the right. All the way to the right. So it's there, but my piano is overpowering it. You can still hear theirs, but you're not hearing the horrible stuff. See what I'm saying? So I replaced that. Okay. Second problem. So you got two options. Either you delete it and forget about it, or you put it in the corner after some treatment, though. You could treat it if you wanted, but you could put it in a corner, or you could choose not to treat it because it might be so bad. As you can see, I have no effects on it. I just put it in the corner to serve as filler, but low enough so that it wouldn't overpower anything else. Now let's talk about percussion. Here is their percussion. Let's see where their percussion is. And when I say percussion, I just mean like congas and all that stuff. Hand percussion and the like. Let's see where it's hiding. Okay, I think this is it. Is that it? No, that's mine. Where is their percussion? Or is it this? No. I don't think I deleted it. Woodwinds, guitar. Oh, here at the top. There we go. Let's bring it down. So let's put their percussion next to my percussion. So this is their percussion. This part is quite nice. Not bad. Now, that's the part I couldn't tolerate. I couldn't live with that. You hear that? It's not good. So what did I do? Play my own. Oh, not that. This one down here. I think it's down here. Did this? No. This. Okay. Move that up. So you can compare and contrast if you listen carefully. That's mine. No noise. This is theirs. You hear the difference? So I played the percussion manually from beginning to the end, as opposed to settling for this. So if you want to get a great percussionist, just go to Fiverr.com and look for a percussionist for $5, $10. You know, if you really mean business with it, it's worth it. But I know many people look at that as, wow, that's my entire Suno money. I can't spend $10 on a percussionist. Well, you got to pay top dollar to get top music. $10 is very, very cheap. Back in the day, you pay $100 to at least get a percussionist in for a few hours. $50 if they're your buddy. So $10 for a percussionist to play on a few tracks or one track is not bad. So for me, for you guys who want to get into this as a business, you got to invest in the business. You got to put the money back in. You got to invest in the beginning. Find instrumentalists who can give you stems. I do this all the time. I pay musicians to get premium product, right? So if Suno didn't deliver and, wow, this track means so much to me, go on Fiverr. Go find people that can help you replace some of the garbage that you might encounter, right? And I don't say that to spite Suno. I'm just saying you are going to have the good, the bad, and the ugly with Suno, and you have to make an executive producer decision to throw certain Suno agents off the project. Like my percussion agent, I literally threw him off the project. My piano agent, I threw him into the background. And you have to make those choices. Now, going beyond the logistics of it and talking about a complete overhaul, let me give you this example. Okay, so here's another example from the drums. Let's listen to the drums unducted. It's not bad, but what is going on? I mean, it sounds muffled in some instances. So I doctor each one according to the circumstance. For this one, let's go step by step. Let's keep playing. I'll bring up the effects and I'll explain what I'm doing. So I have three effects here. I have compression to elevate some of the sounds that were drowning. I have EQ and I have reverb. Okay, so let's go first with compression. So listen to the impact of, and you know, the way you daisy chain them also has an impact. Don't put reverb first, put reverb last. Okay, I put my EQ after my compression. I compress it first, I throw in some EQ, and then and every engineer has their own different way, but I definitely would not put reverb first. So that's compression. That's EQ. So the reverb covers up for the shortcomings of the drums a lot. Now, when you add the final seasoning, which is the isotope, it makes it sound a lot better. Let's listen. Now with isotope. So for the backup vocals, I wasn't getting the backup vocals I needed. So you got to take to the booth, put on your singing hat, and get some background vocals. So this is my accompaniment with the lead.
People asleep, don't cry. People asleep, don't smile. But you are alive.
So you can hear that pretty significant delay, right? And that's because when you're dealing with the background vocals in Suno, you get all sorts of weird artifacts, and sometimes you have to mask them. And if you're putting in an additional vocal, you still want it to sound as robust as possible, which means a lot of experimentation. So let's check this out. Let's loop it.
Celebrate life. Celebrate good times. Celebrate good times. It's easy just to relax and enjoy. Celebrate time. Celebrate life.
So how did I treat? You can see I have a large hall. The large hall just fills what is missing, and it also spreads stuff out. And then by the time you put in your isotope, it spreads it out. But that's not the end. Remember, when you get your final mix from here, you still got to go your final mix and master, because it's really more like a pre-mastering. It's not just a mix. You've added a little bit of mastering elements, but it's still not enough, because my recommendation is to be at 5 decibels. And then take it from 5, take it to LANDR, and LANDR cranks it up to maybe a little bit under the 0 point. Okay? So the way you deal with each artifacty problem is going to be different. Great questions. Did I get all the questions? Yeah, well, you know, the secret mixing is your ears. So you got to use compression, EQ, reverb. You could even use delays in some instances, depending on where you find yourself. But there's no easy secret. There's no artifact remover, right, as at now. If you wanted to go a little bit further into the world of Mixcraft, that would require you bringing in MIDIs. So I actually brought in all the MIDIs here, and after experimenting with them, I found that they were not usable for this track. But I've had other tracks where I used the MIDIs that were given to me by Suno, and I think I have a video about it. I've just done quite a lot that I can't remember which one it was. Yeah, I can't remember which one it was. Unfortunately, I would have shown you. But that's the way to do it. I mean, it's on a case-by-case basis, because every track is different. Let's see if I can find, do I have it? No. I thought I had a track I could show you. Lounge Lizard. No. But, you know, just as an illustration, it's on a case-by-case basis. Like this one, I didn't play any percussion, right? I gotta make it route in here. Okay. It's on a case-by-case basis.
Take it easy. Take it cool.
So there are times you gotta add vocals in the mix. There are times you gotta add piano. There are times you gotta use MIDI if you have the option. And there's actually one track I have where I show how I use John Patitucci's sample VST from the Trillion Spectrasonic series. I mean, it came in from Suno so well that all I needed to do was put it in, you know, just drop it straight in, and it worked nicely. So it's a little bit of trial and error. Any other questions? Okay. Well, if there are no further questions, I want to say thank you, all of you, for joining in and asking the questions. Let me go back and see if I missed anything. Did I miss any questions? I think we got them. Okay. Well, once again, thank you, and hope to see you again on another live very soon. Okay? Bye for now. Let's take it out with a little bit of Celebrate Life and Celebrate Good Times. Here we go.
Emotion